what changed from my 20s to my 30s? It's a lot. Let's talk about it. So now that I'm in my 20s as opposed to my 30s, I realize now how much I need to take care of my body. You know, when you're younger, you don't really think like, I shouldn't be eating this, I need to limit this, maybe I shouldn't drink so much. It's more about enjoyment, having fun, living life. As you get older, you start to realize, whoa, if I want to be around as long as I can, I'm gonna have to take care of myself. Recently, I went for a physical and my cholesterol and my A1C was slightly elevated. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is serious. Those are things that you have to think about now. You have to think about so that you can live not only long, but a good quality of life. Because there's people that live a long life, but they don't have a good quality of life. They're not mobile. They're not able to do the things that they want to do. They're in pain. They have chronic disease. So those are all things that I'm thinking about now. And honestly, guys, I thought it was BS when people were like, oh, when I turned 30, I started waking up and my joints hurt sometimes. That's real. Like sometimes I'll wake up and my knee hurts and it's only one certain knee or my shoulder. Like, and it's not all the time, it's sometimes. So I'm like, dang, like I'm feeling old. But the thing about it is, you know, it's not all bad. A lot of people going from their 20s to 30s, I've seen girls like having a fake funeral, and it is a transitional period. You're going from one stage of your life to the next, but it's a good thing. Like, not all of it's bad. Your body is not meant to last forever. Your body deteriorates. So you have to take care of your body to get the best use out of your body. But again, everything about turning 30 is not bad. I'm gonna go over some of the good stuff too, y'all. I'm like, I got you. So now that I am older, I am more sure of myself, like what I like and what I don't like. When I was younger, I was never good at sports, and sports is very glorified in our culture, which is fine. I mean, I guess, but it makes you feel like if you're not athletic, what are you good for? I knew when I was in school, I liked English, I liked writing, but I never understood how deep my creative side was until my 30s. I've started learning to play an instrument, and I just love music so much. Like, there's not a day that goes by without me singing. I love music, I love art. A couple of years ago, my husband took me to this museum, like art museum, for my birthday, and the sentiment was nice, the sentiment was there, but he kind of wanted to rush through everything. But I really do enjoy that stuff. Like, I want to take my time with it and think about, like, try to interpret it. Like, what was the artist trying to say to us? So when I got older and started thinking about my own likes, I realized you're a very artistic person. You're a very creative person. You can create different things. Like, when I was younger, I used to write songs. Like, I remember writing this song and performing it for my mom, like singing it. She still remembers that to this day. So when I actually sat with myself and thought about what is it that I'm good at, what is it that I enjoy, just taking that time to get to know myself, that all came in my 30s. Because my 20s, I was still young, I was unsure of myself, wasn't taking that time to get to know myself. So that is something that has been major, because once you get to know yourself, you're more self-assured, you're more confident, your self-esteem goes up, all that good stuff. So that has been foundational, that has been amazing. Something else that changed with me being more introverted And when I was younger, I was very shy. Now that I'm older, I'm less afraid of speaking up. I used to be so afraid, y'all, to speak up. I used to be so afraid of, what is this person gonna say or do if I do this? And to some extent, you should think about that, because you don't want to do crazy stuff. But you shouldn't minimize your own voice at the expense of others. If something is bothering you, definitely should speak up. And when I started to speak up about things, people were shocked, like shocked. They were shocked, because I've always been the quiet one. I've always been the agreeable one, not making waves, just going with the flow. But when I started saying, no, I don't like this, I don't like what you're doing, you're being a bad friend, you're being a bad family member, people were like, they were gagged, honey. I'm like, listen, it's so important that when something is bothering you, when something is getting to you, that you speak up and let those people know, because you've got to protect your own peace. You've got to protect yourself, respect yourself. Boundaries are very important for your own mental health. So don't let anybody intimidate you into thinking like, don't speak up. And I found that when people are often like, don't complain, just go along with it, a lot of times it's because they don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to make change, because change is hard. So they'll say, don't speak up, don't complain. If it is something that absolutely needs to change and you've analyzed it, please speak up, use your voice. And that's something that came along with me turning 30 and getting older. And I had this lady at work recently tell me, she's like, you have a big personality. Guys, no one ever in my life has ever told me that I have a big personality. Like, that is a first. And I remember, like, when I was younger, I loved a lot of my high school teachers. One of my favorite teachers told me, she wrote like on my report card, or progress report one time, she was like, Zanetta doesn't speak a lot, but when she does speak, it's significant, it's important. And that has changed. I am not a loudmouth again, but when I notice something, I am much less likely to let it ride. And that has caused people to walk out of my life. Bye. What is meant to be will be. So that has been so instrumental for me. It has given me strength and power to set boundaries with me. So that's another thing that has came along with me getting older and wiser. Another thing is, I just don't care what people think. And that's another thing that I used to care a lot. Like high school, of course, high school, you're young, you're impressionable, you want to get in, get in where you fit in. But now that I'm older, people can talk shit, they can do whatever. I just don't care. I don't care. Like, I'm too grown for it. You can say whatever you want. As long as my well-being isn't threatened, my reputation, my character, say whatever you want. Do whatever you want, sweetheart. Because at the end of the day, I believe everybody has to answer for their actions and their words. So do you, boo. Like, it doesn't faze me, because I came to realize with growing older that it's insignificant. Like, when you leave this world, you're not gonna look back and say, oh, that person talked bad about me. That person was giggling and laughing over there behind my back. It's not gonna matter. What's going to matter is that you did your best for yourself and for your family. You loved hard, you loved yourself hard, you loved your loved ones hard. You made a way for yourself, took the path and did things that you were passionate about in order to give back to this world and make a difference in this world. That's what really matters. So again, a lot of these things came with reflection and self-exploration and thinking. Like, I'm that person that's going to think and just contemplate things. So a lot of these things came over time with just me thinking, watching people's behavior, and how do I successfully navigate this thing called life. And that took time. It took time for me to analyze things and think about it, and how do I handle situations. So a lot of self-work, a lot of thinking, a lot of spending time with myself. And that has all been positive because, as I said, the work that you do on the inside is going to project outside. And people will see like you're more confident, you're setting boundaries, like you're not gonna put up with their crap. So as I've gotten older too, my values have shifted. Before, it was more about possibly like getting my way. I was very spoiled, and I was very temperamental. I have mellowed out a lot because I value my peace now. I mean, like, there's nothing better than coming home to peace and just knowing that you are in your comfort zone. This is your space that you created, that you've curated, and you can be yourself and you can relax and just enjoy being alive, being here, being present. So I value self-care, taking care of myself. That's something that's always high on my list of my to-do list, is making sure I take care of myself. Like this past Friday was Valentine's Day. And, my husband had to work, and he did give me some gifts and, make some time for us to go to dinner and things like that. But I had hit my loctician up and said, could you get me in next week? And she told me the only day that she had available was Valentine's Day. And I was like, I was like, do I want to go in and get my hair done on Valentine's Day? And after I thought about it, I'm like, why not? Like, why not treat yourself? Why not take that time to care for yourself? What's better than spending a couple hours on Valentine's Day getting your hair done and doing some self-care? So those are things that are important to me now. And I have no issue telling my husband, like, hey, I need some time. I'm going to get a massage. I'm going to go see a movie. I'm going to get a facial, whatever the case may be, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. If I am overwhelmed, angry, upset, all of that transfers to the people around me. So now that I'm older, I realize that my comfort, my peace, my self-care, how important those things are, because I have had times where I went without those things and it made such a huge difference. So now in my 30s, I value that stuff. Now that I'm in my 30s, I am wanting to explore things that make me happy. And the thing about getting older is you realize how limited life is. You aren't going to be around forever. The older you get, the more you become aware of your own mortality. And it seems morbid, but it's just life. And you think, how do I want to spend my time? What would be most beneficial to me? How can I enjoy the time that I have? So for me, I love traveling. Like last year, I went to France by myself and I spent 5 days in Paris, France, and it was amazing. I loved it. I got out and I explored the city. I took the train. I went to the museums, I went out to eat by myself. It was a good time. I love traveling, like seeing new places, learning about the culture, being immersed in it. And all the time, you know, when I'm wanting to do things like concerts, travel, whatever it is, going to see a comedian, I'll text friends, I'll ask family, like, do you want to go do this? And they're like, no, I can't, I have to work, I don't have the money, like whatever the case is. And now that I'm older, I'm like, we don't have time to keep waiting. Like, if you want to live, live. Do what you want. Do what you want while you have time. So I'm not waiting on anybody to do anything. I'm going to do the things that I want to do to enjoy. So traveling is high on my priorities. Cooking, I love to cook. Cooking is my happy place, especially when I have time to cook. And I have time to just maneuver around the kitchen and slowly like just put a meal together, like create something delicious. I'm taking more time with that. And me and my husband actually did a cooking class at the top of the year, and I will talk about that in another video. But I even want to do like salsa classes, like all the things. I want to do pole dancing. I want to try it all. Hence my username. Hence the username. I want to try everything. I want to try everything. What is that song from? I want to try everything. I want to try everything. It's something about I want to try everything even if I fail. That's how I feel. I want to try it all. And it came with getting older. I'm like, life is limited. Do what you can while you can. Enjoy life. Now that I'm in my 30s, I'm also more financially stable. I remember like when I was younger, credit was shot. I'm gonna keep it 100. Credit was shot. Was financially irresponsible, not paying bills. Guys, there was times when I had like fees for apartments that I didn't pay, or like, you know, bills like cell phone bills I didn't pay. I was just taking on debt, and in the long run, it did not benefit me. That was short-term pleasure. So now that I'm in my 30s, I have a career, I am responsible with my money. I try to budget my money out. I try to, you know, I pay my bills on time and all that, because having bad credit, not being able to purchase the things that you want, that's not a good look. Let's say you want a house, you want an apartment, you want land, you want whatever, you want a car. You're not going to get the things that you want with being financially irresponsible. So I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn how to budget and how to clean up the messes that I made. And it took time, it took hard work, it took focus and dedication, but it was worth it. The lessons that you learn in your 20s will pave the way for your 30s. They will pave the way for your behavior and your mindset, all of that. Your 20s are the gateway to your 30s. And some of it's gonna be rough, but once you learn those lessons, it's gonna be worth it, because you're gonna be a better person. Now that I'm older, I am more focused on my goals. I remember being younger and going through school, I would be kind of lazy and be like, oh, you know, I'll do that later, I'll do this later. Now that I'm older, I'm back in school, I'm like, no, I'm getting my work done. I'm paying for class, I'm doing it. So whatever my goal is, I set my sights on it. I find out what are the steps I gotta do to get to it, do it, just go for it. I am a lot more laser focused now, because I realize that time is like, it's not worth it to waste time. It's not worth it, because you know you cannot get time back. You cannot get time back. You can always get money back, but you can't get time back. So it's just so important to use your time wisely. So I'm more focused on my goals, because I realize that, again, life is limited. Focus on your goals, reach your goals, crush them, And then you will be happier for it, for the successes that you have reached. And the last thing is, now that I'm older, I value my alone time. When I was in my 20s and teens, I always was on the phone, especially when I was in my teens, always on the phone texting. I was the fastest texter ever. Everyone on my call log, I'd be texting. When I'm bored, whatever, always on that phone. Now, when my phone is dry, I love it. I love it because it's peaceful, it's quiet. I can sit and think. I can sit and explore things that I want to explore and relax. Going to dinner by myself, going to a movie by myself. I can just sit there and think, like, what do you want out of life? What do you want to do next? And it's just amazing. I know people are like, I couldn't go out to eat by myself. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do that. I can, because I have time to reflect. I have time to think and just enjoy. Like, the pressure is off when you do things by yourself. The pressure is off. So I can order what I want. I ain't got nobody looking at me like I'm crazy because I just ordered 3 different things. And I'm probably not going to eat all of it right now. But it's the indulgence, it's the enjoyment. I want to try it all. I can eat how I want. I ain't got to worry about, let me cover. No. I can do what I want. Even like when I went on my trips, I can plan, I want to go here. I want to go there. I want to rest now. I don't have to consider anybody else. Life is just about balance. So these are some of the things that changed when I went from my 20s to my 30s, lessons that I learned. Some of them were hard lessons, but it's all been good. It's all been beneficial. It's all taught me better how to navigate life. So guys, if you got all the way to the end, let me know what resonated with you the most, what you agree with, and tell me if there's anything I missed, what changed for you when you got into your 30s. And guys, like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.